Hi, how you doing? Jeff Sinker from ScoutGuitarLessonsOnline.com. Continuing the series for the beginner on the guitar, learning how to play chords, scales, and also looking at strumming patterns over these coming weeks. We've already looked at the E and the D chord. Today we are going to be looking at the G major chord. Now, if this is the first time that you've seen any of these videos in this series, I do recommend that you click on the link to the introduction for the beginner course. In that lesson, we'll be just looking at the layout of the guitar, understanding the strings, just so as you go through these lessons, it makes a lot more sense to you. Right, so let's look at this G chord. So we're going to get the cameras in close and I'm going to talk you through it. As usual, I do recommend as I'm going through this, you have the guitar in your hand so you can follow exactly what I'm doing. Right, let's get in and let's go through the G chord. So, this is the G chord. Nice full chord using all 6 strings. So let's build this shape up. We're going to take our 3rd finger and we're going to put our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret on the high E string. Now what I do recommend, again, this is another one where you're going to look for and make sure that your nail is pointing upwards. We're going to have a little bit of a natural curve on the knuckles there. And also I strongly recommend on this chord that you try and use the very tip of your 3rd finger. Now you'll see why as we start to build this chord up. If you're using the pad, when we start to roll over to build this shape, you'll find it slightly difficult to play. So try and get the tip of that 3rd finger onto that position. Remember, just about 1 or 2 millimeters behind the fret with enough pressure to hold the E string in place on the fret. Now we're going to take our 2nd finger and we're going to roll it right over the top until we've got that on the 3rd fret on the low E string. Now, you're probably doing it, if you're trying it while you're watching this video, you're probably going, my fingers won't reach, how am I supposed to do that? Now, do trust me, it will come in time, but if you're struggling at the beginning, don't worry, don't get frustrated with it. Now, that 3rd finger, I'm raising it up, I put a slight angle on the knuckles to make sure I'm clearing all the strings above it. But at this point, we've got 2nd finger, 3rd fret on the low E, and we've got 3rd finger, 3rd fret on the high E. Now we're going to take our 1st finger and we're going to put the 1st finger on 2nd fret on the A string. Now again, if you're following this through the video, you're probably thinking that is never going to happen, but it will. So 1st finger, 2nd fret on the A string. Take your pick and just play down all of the 6 strings. Sound good? If you're getting any mutes, let's break these down, common mutes, because you shouldn't be getting a mute across the D, the G and the B string because these are all open strings. What I normally hear from the students when they're playing this is that the 2nd finger tends to touch the A string underneath. If that happens, what I would do is just slightly raise that 2nd finger, so instead of the tip of the 2nd finger on the string, try and get the pad a little bit higher on that finger so it gives a little bit more clearance to that A string underneath. Also, watch that your 3rd finger isn't sneaking up onto the B string. Again, that's another typical fault that I see is that as we go into that shape, we get that roll over the top and the 3rd finger gets dragged up onto the B string. So do make sure that that 3rd finger is anchored onto the 3rd fret of that high E string. Play down through the chord, making sure no mutes. If they are, you've got to juggle them fingers around a little bit just to make sure that we're not muting. If you do have a mute on that D string, you can always move that 1st finger slightly higher on the string because we don't have to worry about it touching towards the E string, because the second finger is already in front of that. So we can raise it a little bit, making sure we got a good arch across that first finger. Gives you a nice clearance to play through. Now take a break, take your fingers off, break up the shape of the hand and place the fingers back on, play the chord. Fingers off, build up the chord. And I again, build it third finger, second finger, first finger. At this stage, that's the process and the procedure I would take. Third finger, second finger, first finger, play. Hands off, break the shape, back on, 3, 2, 1, play down. And again, we are looking for 10 clear chord movements, chord strums. So it's 1, break, 2, break, 3, break, 4. Try and get to 10. It will take some time, don't worry, it will come together. Just work with it, don't get frustrated with that. Well, that is the G chord, adding it to our arsenal of different chords that we've learned here. So we're going to leave that lesson there for you to practice. Next lesson, we are going to be looking at the A major chord. Now, of course, all the information chord charts can be got from going on the link on my website, on the description beneath. That will take you to my website. Of course, if you want to continue following this series for the beginner, don't forget, subscribe. Just click on that little YouTube button that you see down there. It will take you to my YouTube channel and you'll be able to subscribe. So all of the new lessons that are coming through, you'll be notified straight away by YouTube and you can follow these entire lessons as we build through. Well worth doing it. We are going to be covering quite a lot of ground here to get you playing. So, this is Jeff Sinker from SkypeGuitarLessonsOnline.com. Thanks for your company. Look forward to seeing you all again soon. Until then, goodbye.